Hey guys.
Hello, everybody. It is 2 o'clock and we are ready to start, and I am admitting people, and looks like we have a nice crowd today. And we are upstairs in Tina Fryer Square, and we have got our new Rachel here, but also Elizabeth is new, and we're excited to have her with us. This is her first Ignite. Elizabeth Say is my second admin. So I'm Tina Fryer, and I am the operating principal of Roanoke, and also one of the co-owners of the Lynchburg Market Center with Teresa. And I am going to be teaching your database and your database health and growing your database. And I have never actually taught this class before, but I love teaching. So can everybody hear me? Thumbs up. All right, good, good, good. So hopefully you have the materials in front of you, and if you want, we will get started. We are on page 5 of the materials, and we're going to talk about what we are going to expect today, and that is that we are going to be building our most important tool you will ever have as an agent. Part of what I see in both market centers is the person that has the biggest database can get going the fastest. And I have an agent, Mac Westland, in Roanoke, and his database has 10,000 people in it. He actually ran for office. So he took all those people that he met and somehow had on a spreadsheet and got them into his database. And he did 10 million his first year. And that's just from, being out there in front of the public. I have 4,000 folks in my database, and that's after 25 years. And I am trying to grow that database and use it more effectively. So this is a good class for me because I hope to do more this year in growing my database and also improving my health of my database.
I hate to interrupt you, but this is my first Ignite session, and the materials you referred to, I'm not sure how you get at those. Are those something that are emailed, or?
Is anyone else missing the materials that Shalaya would have sent out? Anyone else need materials? All right. So we will text her and ask her to send those to you right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Rach, how do I make sure everyone's muted? So, well, we'll see how this goes. All righty. So we're going to talk about lead generating for business, making calls and how to find buyers and sellers. We are going to talk about adding new contacts and growing your database and organizing those categories and putting your contacts on a marketing campaign so that we stay in front of all these folks that we are adding to our database. We are going to show great role model videos in this class, and we are going to get started. So going to page 7, is anyone using the Daily 104 tracker? Looks like this. To track how many people that they are making calls to, how many people they're putting in their database. How do I unmute so they can talk? How do I see if they want to talk? Way to unmute them. Mute.
think you're on mute, Tina.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, thanks. How long have I been on mute? Did you hear?
Just a little.
Okay. So my question was, has anybody used this tracking system? And you go to www.daily104.com.
No.
Track how many people you're adding. So let's just do that. Y'all get on the internet, go on daily104.com and log into your with your KW login. Rachel, can you turn this on? So it's not ringing. So that is your tracker. And honestly, if you use that tracker on how many people you're adding, you'll be able to see how you're doing. And if you use either your coach or someone in the market center or your team member to help you stay accountable, that is a wonderful way. Every day after your calls, we do our calls from 9 to 11. To go ahead and enter that in, and then to have somebody at the end of the week, text you, call you, ask you to email that would be a great way to keep us accountable. Because I know so often our intentions are great, but then the delivery sometimes doesn't happen. So it is a way to keep us accountable. And yeah. It's actually something I didn't know existed until I taught this class.
Tina, can I share one thing?
Sure.
So there's a way that you can put this on your phone and it looks like a little app. So you don't have to sign in every time. I remember the first time I took Ignite, and depending on if you want to make a list of who you talk to during the day or as you make your calls, just click it on there. It's super easy, and it does make you realize what you're doing in a day and kind of makes you proud to set your goals that way.
Okay. So what is the app called? I mean, like, how do we get to it?
I need to go back and look, and I can share that. I just remember when I took the Ignite the first time, I found a way to link that and put it right on my home screen on my phone without a login. So It might give you that option.
Yeah. So everybody on this call, we are going to send that out. After we're done, we'll have Shalaya make a little video on how to do it. Trey, if you would get that to Shalaya, we'll send it out. So, and having someone that you're accountable to. Some of us are really good and we're just accountable to ourselves. But if you're not, find an accountability person, whether that's a coach or just another new agent, whoever that might be. If you're on a team, then you're team folks. So, I love using January as my goal setting time. So in the idea of a database, does anyone have any database goals incorporated into their 2021 goals? Has anyone given that any thought?
Besides building your database,
Yeah.
spending more time on the phone.
Yeah, spending more time and yeah, but so I have 4,000. Rachel, how many do I have? 4,000 even. And Tina Fryer does about 25 million in real estate. I know. It's a nice number. My goal is to do 30. So if I want to do 30 million, and I have 4,000 people, Rachel, do some math for me. Do 25 divided by 30 million. And what percentage is that? How much does my database need to grow for me to accomplish that? So my question to you guys is, how many people are in your database? Some of you all share with me, and am I muting everybody?
I've got 80 in mine now. I'm pretty new though.
I've got about 250.
I have about 250 as well.
About 1,500, and it's a goal of mine to reach 4,000 in the next couple of years. Tina, I think you might have muted yourself again there.
Yes.
Every time I unmute all you, somehow it must mute me. So anyways, I'm keeping Rachel at an arm's length, so whenever she can help me. So what I would say to you, Lenora, is break that down. If you want 4,000, that's a 3-year goal. Maybe that's a 5-year goal. I don't know, but make that decision and break it down to this year. How many do you want this year? Because then you need to break it down per day. If you're going to do this from 9 to 11, how many folks do you need to add in every day to get to whatever that goal is? I write my goals down every year. I write them with my, I do my personal ones as well as my business ones. And I try to do that with all my team members also. So, Rachel, what was my number?
You need to grow your database by 17%,
I have to grow my database by 17%.
which would be adding 680 people.
That means I have to add 680 people. I want you all to put a note in your phone to ask me December 31st, how many people I added to my database. So on this call, who regularly adds to their database and makes calls from 9 to 11?
Something like that anyways, not 9 to 11, but I like to actually break mine up 9, noon, and 3. And that way I don't feel like I'm chained to the phone. I have the luxury of ending a session on a good call, which makes all the string of hangups and whatnot feel less important if it ends on a good call. And it's also not such a crisis if something comes up that interrupts one of those sessions. It just means I have to make the other 2 a little longer than usual.
Got it. I will tell you, for me personally, I'm a 9 to 11, and I try to keep my butt in that chair, and I try not to get up for food breaks, potty breaks, water breaks. I try to hunker down from 9 to 11, and then at 11, I'm free and I can get up and, go get it. The only thing I do get up for is coffee. But really doing that time is the most important thing as far as me generating business. And I can tell every single time I do it. And I would tell you, it is the most critical time blocking. And it is constantly hard, and I have to battle for it. But being consistent in whatever time you decide to do that is going to be a game changer for your business. So if that's 9 noon, put an alarm on your phone, make it happen, be consistent, and grow your database. So on page 8, we are, they have just a sheet where you can, let me see if I can pull up my Ignite. All right, present. See if I can you see this Ignite? All right. Help me out here, Rach. Okay. Have I lost them? I don't think so. Can you see that screen sharing I'm doing? with Ignite? This part?
Sure.
Okay. All right, I think we got it. Has everyone completed their KW profile and activated it? Is your app branded? How did they just stay unmuted? Help me, Rachel. Now I can't get to the mute button.
And then Shalida comes it up here.
Yeah.
You're not muted, Tina.
Okay.
Yeah, where's Shalai? Let me get Shalai on because Shalai is the helper.
Yeah, tell her I'm just gonna need her to kind of stay up here till I can master this. Anyways, does everyone have their app branded? Have they done their profile in eEdge?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
Because when you share your app, you want it to be branded to you. Otherwise, if you haven't done that, it will go just back to KW, and you really don't want that. You want them calling. And I actually had a client and he came to an open house. My thing is when I do my open houses, I always share the app, and he used that app for a full year. And I did nothing else. I'm ashamed to say that, but I did nothing but meet him in an open house and share my app. A year later, he said, hey, I'm ready. I've been using your app. I've been, seeing these properties. And he came back and purchased a house from me. So the other reason you really want to have that done too, is you should go into the home page and look at the referral button, click on the referral button on the icons on the left. And make sure that is showing up, because that's how people find you for referrals. And Keller Williams is #1 in the US for referrals. So we want to make sure that everybody has the absolute best they can have on there so they can get those referrals also. And on that note, you want to include personal things about you. I can't tell you how many times people know what church I go to because they read it on my profile. And they know how many children I have because they read it on my profile. So if you needlepoint, knit, kayak, whatever it is, go ahead and put all that information and make it personal and real as well as business. So. All right, Rachel, help me. All righty. Am I screen sharing this?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see that. All right. All righty, handwritten notes. We could stop and take time to do that. However, we are not. I did ask Shalaya if she had, how do I see myself? Notes that we all could use, and she said she does in her office, so we can stop by either Roanoke or Lynchburg Leadership Office, and they have the notes and you can use them. They're KW branded. You can put your card in them. So thank them for coming to an open house, happy birthday, whatever it is you want to put on your KW note. Go ahead and do that. On page 9, we are going to talk a little bit about lead generating for your business. And we are going to work on some of the scripts here about how to when you haven't done this a lot of times it feels awkward. So whether you use this exact script on page 10 or you make it your own. So I actually probably wouldn't use, I would use the outline of this script, but my script right now is, how is it going in COVID? How are you doing? And oh my gosh, people want to tell you how they're doing. They want to tell you that their Aunt Susie or grandma has it or exactly what's going on with that. So when I'm starting that conversation with just new people that are maybe in my phone and I want, to regain that rapport with them, I will start out with, here, the referral, the script is on page 10, and it says, "Hi, my name is Tina Fryer, and I'm with Keller Williams Realty. Your name was given to me by a close friend of both yours and ours." And that's when you've been referred somebody, and you start the conversation, are you thinking about buying or selling your home? And then you can go into that, and that's great. But if you are really just are looking for business and you're just calling the people on your phone or the people in your life or the people on the soccer team, and you move over to page 11, let's see. On page 11, if you're new to real estate, you can say, "Hi, this is Tina Fryer. Do you have a moment?" I love to ask people if they have time, because if they really don't have time, it's hard for them to talk and to concentrate. If they say yes, then you have permission to keep going. And then you start. "I am here to share this exciting news that I have become a real estate agent, and I'm with Keller Williams Realty. With this new partnership, I have all the knowledge working for me, plus my clients get all my enthusiasm and hard work. I thought about sharing this with you because I knew you would be someone to help me grow my business." That's great. I'm just saying, for me, if it was somebody I did know and I wanted to tell them I was in real estate, I would probably start, "Hi, I'm Tina." I'm going to say this from Elizabeth's perspective, because Elizabeth is actually new. "Hi, I'm Elizabeth Say. I've just started a new exciting chapter in my career. I have become a real estate agent." She's sitting for the test next week. "And I wanted just to let you know that. And I'd love to know if you are thinking about buying or selling in the next year, or if you know of somebody that's buying or selling in the next year." That would be me if I was Elizabeth and trying to, put some folks in my database. If they say no, that's fine. Do you have any family or friends that might be sizing down or looking to sell or buy in the next year? If they say no again, then you can say, "Well, thank you so much. And if you ever think of anybody, again, I'm Elizabeth Say, and I'm with Keller Williams Realty, and I'd love to help you if you have somebody." So is anybody doing that call, and are you hitting any roadblocks that you need help as far as overcoming? Unmute everybody, because it's very struggle.
They have to unmute themselves.
And you'd have to unmute yourself if you're going to speak.
Can you hear me okay, Tina?
I can hear you great.
Perfect. Yeah, so Matt and I have talked, and he's, had me going through my phone and different social media things. But here's one thing, and I'm fortunate because I have that support of a team that I can say, our team owner, experience, things like that. But for me, if I were not on the team, just being a new realtor, I did send out a few things to some folks on, friends on social media, what have you. How do we overcome that of you're a new realtor? I'm not sure I want to use you because you're new. You see what I mean?
Right.
How can we word that? How can we do that so they're like, okay, well, you're new, so I probably won't, trust that right now. So, and for me, having Matt and other people on the team, but I'm thinking of those folks out there that don't have that right now, that are just saying, "Oh, hey, I just went into real estate." So what's your suggestion with that? How we can word that or do that?
So has anybody in the group had that happen, and how did you overcome it?
So I think you can use the brokerage as leverage. You work on a team of 110 agents. And even if you're not specifically on a team and you're an individual agent, there's always somebody in there that will help you accomplish whatever you need. you're not going to have all the answers, and you won't ever. I mean, you're always going to learn. And what you need to do is, if you get in a situation, instead of making up something, say, hey, I don't know, but I can find that out. I work with 110 other agents.
Right. Well, thanks. That's really helpful because, you know, even though I say the Hogan Home team, people don't, they're like, okay, so you're on a team with Keller, but you're still a new agent. So I like what you said there. You know, with just going back to the actual brokerage, you know, we're a huge brokerage, and this is, yeah, I like that. I think that's good.
So that is exactly what you do on really so many objections. When you're new, you go back to the brokerage and you say, I work for the #1 company in the United States and in the world. You know,
Right.
like they've got the technology part all done for me. I don't have to do very little. And, you know, the IDX feeds to how many websites? 400 websites. It's, you know, and they've done all that for me. And then, you know, when you can say, oh, not, and we're also #1 in Lynchburg, and we have the greatest market share, and there's 110 agents, or in Roanoke, there's 75 agents. We work closely together.
Right.
Yeah, you absolutely go
Okay.
back to the
Yeah.
brokers and to the strength of Keller
Back
Williams
to brokerage.
and what Keller Williams does for you. Yep.
Thanks, Tracy.
So who in this group has actually called the people from their phone? Like, just, that's, to me, that's your #1 database. Who has actually taken everyone from their phone and put it into their database, into their command? All right.
Not everyone, not
Unmute-
all, not yet.
Unmute yourself if you've done it. I would love to hear that you have done that.
I've done it.
All right, who's talking? How do I?
Jennifer.
Awesome. Who else has done that?
I did that.
Okay. If
I've done
you-
it as well.
All right, if you have not done it, you need to do that. And Shalaya will, if you need help with it, Shalaya will guide you to it, or just make a time with her. She will sit down with you. In Roanoke, Ethan will sit down with you and actually do it for you. So absolutely get everybody out of your phone and into your database. And then step 2 is to put them into a campaign, but we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. So, so you get them out of your phone, you're putting in your database, you're growing your database. Are you, who's struggling being comfortable, who's struggling where they're not comfortable making those cold calls? Just calling those people you haven't, all right. And Tracy, why, tell me what's happening there.
So
You there,
it's fear
Tina?
of rejection. It's fear of rejection and somebody maybe being rude or hanging up. And what I have to tell myself is, get yourself in the mindset that you're not out here to try to make a quick buck or do something quick. You're providing a service to somebody, whether they are not ready to sell, but they want a CMA on their property. And I just have to get out of my head with that. And I do struggle with it. I struggle with it all the time.
Okay. So do you make yourself do it anyways?
Truthfully, I'm not good at it. And, you know, I wake up and I know this is what I need to do. And, you know, Taken Bold, they forced us to do it. So, I mean, I did see that work. And so I know it works. But to be 100% honest with you, no, I'm not doing it properly.
Tracy, how would you feel if you just called them and asked them how are they doing through COVID?
Now, I do tell you, I keep in touch with all my past clients. I reach out and I tell you, I follow people on social media and find out their wedding anniversaries, their birth dates, their kids' birth dates. And I text people constantly and say, hey, I was just thinking about you guys, but I'm not asking for referrals. And that's where I'm going wrong. I don't ask for reviews. I don't ask for referrals, but I do stay front and center with the people that I have done business with.
So would this be more comfortable if you called them up and said, hi, this is Tracy with Keller Williams Real Estate. I really enjoyed doing that deal with you, but I did not collect your birthday. I would love to reach out to you every year and just say happy birthday. Do you mind if I add that to my database? I mean, doesn't feel too, oh, and by the way, do you have anybody, that, will you be buying or selling this year? Or will any of your family be buying or selling this year? I think you can start out with COVID. You could start out also, for us, we are going to say that we are going to have an event this fall, which is true. And we want to make sure that we get that invitation to you. So we are going to be asking for, making sure we're trying to get our database health better. So we're going to be asking for an email, phone, mailing address. Why would you want a mailing address?
Well, their phone number can
Postcard.
always change.
Marketing.
Yeah, for mailers and postcards.
Mailers and postcards, but what else through command is, I'm telling you guys, this is the secret sauce right here. Everybody listen. It is about that neighborhood nurture. So I just said I did 24 million. Actually 25, I think is what my stats are now. 11 of it comes from one subdivision. And every daggone person that I can find their email, whatever, for Farmington gets in their neighborhood nurture. You know what? Nobody unsubscribes from neighborhood nurture. You know why? Because real estate is hyper local. Gary Keller has taken that burden. I used to have to accumulate that data, snail mail that data, and now all I do is click Farmington and it shows up. So if I could challenge you on one thing, is every time, every address, and if you haven't neighborhood nurtured the people that are in your database, make that as part of your 9 to 11 time. Will you start a neighborhood nurture? What if you don't have an email? They can't get the neighborhood nurture. So call them up and say, would you like to know your neighborhood's information on what's listing and sold, just your neighborhood? And if they say yes, say, I'm going to need an email and you'll get it twice a month. Would that be acceptable? Nobody unsubscribes. And I think that's crazy. It's just hyper local. It's being done for me. So I would challenge everybody to go back through their database, and if they're in a neighborhood, start putting them on a neighborhood nurture. Is there anyone out there that's doing neighborhood nurtures?
Usually when I do Facebook ads, I'll put them on the neighborhood nurture for the neighborhood that they were interested in and then the surrounding areas.
Does anybody not know what I mean by neighborhood nurture? Would you like for me to show you what I'm talking about in command right now?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. All right, so command is up, Ms. Shalaya. And I'm going to have you pull up Tony Robinson in my command. Let me get rid of that. All right, I've got Shalaya here. I had to hire some technical help. Okay, so this is my command, and I'm going to go into contacts. And Tony Robinson. So I like hashtags. Am I sharing this? So you all can see this. So he's a past client. He's an owner in Farmington, and he's an owner in a little part of Farmington that my husband built.
We can't see it, Tina.
All right, it's coming. Shalaya's working on it.
Okay.
Why is it doing what? Shalaya's working. Mm-mm, command. right. Can you see it now?
Blank screen.
Blank screen.
Let me get on so I can see what they're looking at.
All right. July is working on that and we will come back to that. All righty. So someone else share what script they use when you're making those cold calls. Does anyone have a script that they use that they'd like to share? All right. And we will just go with what's in the book or what I kind of just talked about. We are going to go over to page 17 where it says your database is your business. All right, now can you see it?
Mhm.
Can you see my command?
Yeah.
All right. Great. So can you unmute? It's making some noises.
Voice.
All right. Tony. Oh. Said everything. Yeah, I said my base on it. I think she told me go over there. All right. Can you see now, Tony Robinson?
Mhm.
All right, so he is I love hashtags, guys. It's a great way to filter. So past client, he's an owner in Farmington. He's an owner of the Crossings and he's getting ready to sell if anyone needs a 2-car garage townhouse in Farmington. Add neighborhood, that's where you add it. Does it automatically tell you what neighborhood they're in? I think it does, doesn't it?
If you add their address in.
Yeah, once you put their address in, it will give you the neighborhood. And the only thing you have to do is click right there that says add neighborhood. Got it? And they're in. That's it. How hard can it be? Yeah, so you'll see on the right-hand side, I do put my notes in and I'm pretty good about that. And I actually do tasks also. So going back to my main page, I also wanted to make sure that you guys are looking at your database health. So right here, it has the percentage of your database with phone numbers. So the gray circle in here is comparing it to the green is me and the red is me and the gray is the agents in the market center. So by phone number, I'm outdoing the market center a little bit. 69% of my folks have a phone number, 51 have an email, addresses, neighborhoods. That's only 11% I have in neighborhoods. I need to increase that too. So that could be a task for Elizabeth. Elizabeth's like, great. Yeah, add it to my list. But yeah, that'd be a great way for me to grow my database. Has anyone been paying attention to that in their command? So the gray, you know, when it sees my email, it looks like everyone in the market center is doing 74% and I'm at 51%. So I have a phone number. I need to use that phone number to catch up on my emails. And that may be something I just start assigning to Elizabeth and just say, make 10 calls a day, start getting emails and do it that I want to invite them to something. And then also try and get those addresses and then get them set up on neighborhoods. But yeah. So your database is your business. Going to page 17, it is your most valuable business asset. Does anyone remember, I've been to a training that said if you had X amount of people in your database, you should make a percentage of that. Teresa, do you remember that?
I think the database, I can't remember, but I thought it was 6, for every 6 leads, 1 sale. Am I wrong? Does that sound right?
I don't know. I just remember that I was woefully low when I did my numbers because I was like, wow, I should be doing a lot more business.
Because we're not doing, but I thought that it was for every 6 leads, 1 sale for, you know, if you're doing it properly. And all of us are low because we're not doing it right.
Right.
So.
So 88% of our clients want to use us again, but only 12% do. And that's because they can't remember your name. They can't remember who you are. Even you're like, oh, my daughter played soccer with so-and-so and they just listed their house with Nadine. That's because they didn't remember who you were. Like they know your kid played soccer, but they can't remember your name if you're not doing something to stay in contact with them. So Keller Williams gives you the tools through command and you put them on and you put them on a campaign. Is anybody running campaigns in their database to their database? Is anyone using that feature?
That like the Facebook ads?
No, just a
Smart plan.
a smart plan. Thank you. That's the word.
Yeah, no.
Not, is anyone on this call using a smart plan?
I am. I'm using a lot of them.
Good. Can you
Writing
tell
one
me,
right now?
do you mind sharing what you're using, how it's working, and exactly, are you using one of the templated ones or did you make it your own?
A bit of both. I started with the template for open house follow-up, which was a great way to begin. And then I did that a little bit here and there. And then I just started writing my own based on that. So for example, I made one to go along with my Facebook ad campaigns so that as soon as I get a new lead, all I have to do is connect them to start the smart plan for that. And the first thing it does is send them a text that says, hey, thanks a lot for asking for more information. I'm going to email you a tour in a minute. Is this the best address? Because a lot of times with the Facebook ads, it auto-populates from when they first made their Facebook account, which was probably 10 years ago, and one of those 2 pieces of information is probably defunct at this point. So it becomes a way to double check and clean up the information. So I've gotten better emails from a lot of those texts. The second thing it does is it will send an email with a link to my Facebook page where I've done, because a lot of my ads are after an open house. So I did the live Facebook video, and then I'll put a link to that in an email and it'll send it and call it a virtual tour, which is basically just me walking through. The next day, it will prompt me to make a phone call, and you can actually plug right in your script. So I've written a script for myself and it'll go right into tasks. So I can just go through my tasks when I'm making my phone calls and boom, boom, boom. has name, phone number, and it has my script right there.
Oh,
We'll add them to the neighborhood nurture. Well, I have to add them to the neighborhood nurture manually, but
right.
you can add them to another smart plan in the smart plan. So it will start sending them the neighborhood emails, and it will send a text that says, hey, I've got a little bit of research on that neighborhood around the house you were asking about. So look for that in the email. Was that the right area for you, or were you looking for someplace different? And sometimes I'll get a reply for that says, no, I was looking for more south, or I was looking for Roanoke, and that's in Lynchburg, kind of thing. And
So Lenore, one thing that you're doing that is absolutely brilliant, and people are like, oh, I don't get answers. I don't get answers from these internet leads. It's because you're not offering something that's enough value to them, and you're not asking a specific question. I have had people on my team, and I've asked them to let me see what they're writing, and I can see their mistakes. I can see that they're just saying, if you ever want to buy or sell a house, contact me. And instead, I'm like, what is bringing you to Lynchburg? You know, like, why are you coming back? And you know what they cut? Oh my gosh, I will get a paragraph about, oh, my son went to Liberty and we visited him for 4 years and this is that, or my 3 sisters live in Farmington. And I ask the question, what, you know, put that information in there, you know, a little bit south, is this the right area? That's what's going to get an answer, is ask a question specific. And a lot of times, and that, because if you don't start the conversation, if you don't get engagement, you can run a campaign, but you've got to engage them. So I've never engaged them by a smart plan, but I think I'm going to start engaging them by a smart plan. I've got a lot of internet leads that I am not doing a great job on capturing. So, and I've never thought about that, Lenora, like, let's just make it a smart plan.
it really helps. You can keep it going for a good 9 days, and then you can feed them right into another smart plan. So I have another one that prompts me to give a call once a quarter. So once I get to the end of the Facebook one, it just feeds right into that.
Okay. So how is Lenora the only person on this call that is using smart plans? It appears it is. So
Fabulous. Use them.
I'm getting there.
and guys, I'm not shaming you. I'm not using them. And by teaching, the thing I will tell you about teaching any class that Shalaya or Teresa or anybody asks you is, by teaching it, you will get better at whatever you're teaching. And this is, you know, I think I'm pretty good, but you know, I want to get better. So this is going to be one of my new things is, all right, I've got an internet lead. Let's figure out how to smart plan it. So Shalaya, how do people start? What do you guys want? Do you want us to teach a class on smart plans? Do you want us to do it right this minute? Like, what do you guys want or need, or do you not want to use that feature?
Yes.
I think we
I
need
do.
a class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like what Lenora said, that she was personalizing them, because I'll be honest, I started using them and they were awkward and clumsy, especially with the text messages. And that just didn't sound like me. And they were asking people to go to coffee and different things like that, that people didn't really want to do because we're in the middle of COVID.
Right.
And I didn't really know how to customize them. And I kind of gave up. So I feel a little guilt about that. But Lenora is giving me some more confidence in, okay, maybe I'm just not using them appropriately. I need to figure out a way to make them sound more like me and more specific to Lynchburg, and not just this automated thing that a whole bunch of people can do.
Right. So do you want that as one-on-one with Shalaya? Do you want that, or do you want us to, again, I think it would be great if we just did a very short class on one thing, which is smart plan. Like,
Yeah,
I agree.
Smart.
I agree.
And how do I make them Tina Fryer? And I don't think that's more than a 40-minute class. Do you?
and
Shalaya?
record it, because I'd probably need to see it more than once.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe depends, because creating your own custom smart plans, there's a bit that goes into it.
Is that a one-on-one thing, or are you telling me, or can we teach it in a classroom setting?
We can probably do it either way.
Okay.
Be happy to walk through how I've made mine. That might be helpful to some people.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe
All
not right now, but give me a minute to think through how to talk through. But yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
So Shalaya is going to teach a class in that. It is going to be a 45-minute class. And if it doesn't get you there, just bring your daggone computer and come in, and Shalaya will do it one-on-one or two-on-one so that we customize them for you. At least look at the templates though before you get to this, so that if you kind of know what you want to say, that you at least have some stuff prepared so that when you do create it, you can. And I tell you, questions are powerful, and that's true for anything in your life. When you ask questions, you're making someone think, and then when you get them to respond, that's how you get them engaged. And that's true for your kids, your husband, your clients, so, why are you selling, when you're getting to an impasse on a negotiation, reminding them by asking powerful questions. So I would tell you to make sure you have some questions in there.
Hey, Tina.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to let them know that the week starting February 1st, for the next 2 weeks, the region is going to have the everyday orientation Monday, contact Tuesday, smart plan Wednesday, opportunity Thursday, and then it goes into consumer Monday, design Tuesday, campaign Wednesday, referral Thursday. So we'll make sure we get that out, but you guys try to get on that, because I think there's going to be some, some good training.
First Wednesday.
Fantastic.
So that's next Wednesday?
Looks like starting the 1st. It says February 1st. So we'll be getting some information out about it. But we'll try to, I'm going to have Shalaya specifically integrate the people that are on this call so that y'all know about it. So.
Are you saying, Teresa, that start with that and then for them to?
Yeah, maybe we could start with that so that everyone can kind of get the gist of it. And then as we have trouble, which we all do, we can go to Shalaya for some one-on-one.
I know for Roanoke and Lynchburg, we underuse our tech people. Shalaya is, everybody that sits down with her says such great things. Same with Ethan and Roanoke, but people just don't make enough appointments, and they'll work with you one-on-one. And you may need to come in with, not only am I having problems with this, but I need a little help with that. Can you show me how to do this? Like, write some questions down. They're underutilized. We have this amazing tool, and I'm not using all assets of it. So yeah. So let's move over to page 19 and talk a little bit about goal of daily lead generation within your database. First and foremost, always prospecting for business, people who are ready to buy now or in the immediate future. So meeting new people. How do you meet new people, especially during COVID? We are doing open houses. I don't know if other people are doing open houses, but we wear our masks. We still distance the 6 feet, but we are doing them. And that's actually how I really grew my database in the very beginning, is I just did constant open houses. So, but what are some other ways to meet new people to, put in your database?
Go to a coffee shop and talk to people. In the drive-through, talk to the person waiting on you if you can't go in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I say too is not to be a secret agent. I remember Shannon Sims said, was my first year, something about she had her name tag on and went to the grocery store and stayed at the Bananas, and somebody said, "Are you in real estate?" And so everywhere I go, I try to wear my name tag. I've got magnets on my car. I was putting a new mailbox up today and met a neighbor at the end of my house that said, stopped as he was walking and said, "Are you a real estate agent?" I said, "Sure." I was almost late getting on this class because he said, "Hey, we're selling in the spring. We'd like you to come list our house." Never met the guy, just waved to him. So sometimes it's just being friendly and you know, always put yourself out there that, you know, keep your name tag on, get magnets for your cars, get realtor tags. People will stop you and ask you questions.
Guys, I'll do anything. I've taken the roster from my kids' soccer things. I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah, they're going in my database. Like, you know, all those moms are going to be hearing from me from now on for the rest of their lives. They're now in my database. When I do my shopping, I love to tell the story of I had been married for 35 years and I wanted a new setting for my ring. So I went to downtown and they ordered some new settings for my wedding ring. And when I checked out, I asked the girl, I was like, you know, I need to pay for this new setting. I said, do you by chance know of anyone that is buying or selling, you know, their home? And she looked at me and she said, oh, I want to buy your house. And I really like what your husband's doing at the crossings in Farmington. She wasn't going to tell me. I just worked with her for 45 minutes. She wasn't even going to tell me she was looking at my husband's product until I brought it up. I was like,
Wow.
there's my ring paid for by about 4 times multiple. So thank you very much. It's just going through your day and not being afraid. You know, they really don't get mad at you, you know, and if they say no, I'm like, are any of your family or friends thinking about selling this spring? Selling this year?
Aren't we all afraid to be that guy that
Yeah.
our friends don't want us coming around like, oh God, here she comes. So all she's gonna do is talk about real estate. You know, none of us want to be that guy. I have friends on Facebook that the only time they ever reach out to me is when they want to sell me something, and it's so aggravating. I just don't want to. I want to be available and present and not be a pain in the tuchus.
And I hear you on that. And I do think that is kind of a tough thing to walk, but I also think that if we just don't ask, we won't receive. And the other really big thing I have learned is when I am in business with somebody, to ask them, do you have any other real estate needs? So whether I'm doing a CMA on their house or I'm finishing a transaction, to go ahead and ask for the next piece of business, to say, do you have anything else that, you know, do you, because you've got them and you've got them in the moment. So keep that ball rolling. That's when you're top of mind. So asking for that. But how about your CPA? You know, it's tax time again. My CPA has given me 4 great referrals this year. Great. And guess what? He deals with people and he knows what kind of money they make. So like, I love my CPA for a referral base. Just like, be thoughtful. Who are you just in your daily life, whether that's your hairdresser or the girl that does your nails, like, think about who that is, you know?
I leave a card at every restaurant I go to with my server, with her tip, every single one.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask too. Sometimes they'll say things like, oh, I was thinking about getting into real estate. And I'm like, well, they put you in my downline, you know? So anyone else have any good stories to share on just how to get more people in their database?
This is Joan. I don't know why I can't be seen, but anyway, in the last couple of weeks, I've had some really interesting ones that are similar to what Tina just said and actually kind of addresses Jennifer. I think if we think of ourselves as being like little rock stars that can really help people from a customer service perspective on real estate. I bought some cheese boards from a guy who has some acreage that his family wants to sell. And that just came out of conversation while I was buying my cheese boards from him. He's an artist. And then another thing, I got a call today from my insurance person who referred me someone who he's known for like 20 years. So I'm thinking your insurance people are probably huge people to talk to, because I mean, they know the people, they've known them for years, they're in their downline in their database. And if you think of a lot of business partners you have, there's really the possibility there. I mean, I was pretty blown away actually, and this is someone that has a waterfront home here at the lake. So I'm just thinking, like you just said, Tina, and somebody else just said it too, I can't remember who it was, but I think if you think of yourself as being a rock star person that is an awesome realtor and you have lots of great services to give people and you can help them a lot rather than, oh, I'm looking for somebody and trying to bug them, you know, I think if you just look at it like you're really going to be of a huge service to them, I think it'll make it so much easier to have just a fun conversation with a friend or a business partner. So that's my thought for 5 seconds, you know.
Yeah. Actually, I just wrote down my insurance person's name because I've never talked to my insurance person. And you're right. I need to call them anyways. So at the end of that call, it's really, that's what actually I love about Bold is Bold makes you be really mindful and just do this business through your everyday, you know, what you're doing. And yeah, think about anyone that you spend money with. Anyone that you spend money with. If you're spending money, you know, as a businesswoman, I want win-wins. I get so frustrated with one of my vendors of my husband's business because, you know, he has spent so much money with this person and then this person listed their house with someone else. And I asked for the business. I absolutely, and she's like, well, this is a friend of my kids. And I was like, that kid has not put one dime in your pocket. You know, like I want win-wins. So I want to work with other business men and women that are also going to bring me business. So they can be a great referral. So I would say if you haven't done that, write down your insurance agent, write down your, just all the people that you spend money with, and then, you know, ask for that business or just let them know that you're in business, that you are a realtor. You might not have done that. You might not have ever told those folks, hey, I'm in real estate. Write them a little note card, throw 2 of your business cards in. Hey, or maybe do one this month and send the postcard next month. So.
And if you like the people that you're doing business with and the people you're spending money with, and you send referrals, I had somebody recently ask me, who would I use for homeowners insurance? I referred my agent because I've been with them for a million years and they're wonderful. I got a call back and she was like, thank you so much for sending so-and-so. And if you do those things enough, and I'm not saying you tell them they have to use them, but those people will start thinking about you and the business you give them and send you referrals for people that are looking.
Right. All right, well, Shalaya is going to help me. We're going to do a short video for 10 minutes, and then we are going to come back to maximizing our database.
What does it say in the book?
I don't know. It's back here in a bit.
I don't see it all in here. I just went through every slide.
Okay. I thought there was this start button somewhere. All right, disregard Shalaya saying I thought I had seen a video button coming up here. We are going to move on to page 22. And in my database, I have a hashtag for met and haven't met, because when you do get to 4,000 folks, honestly, I can't remember if I've met them or if I haven't met them. So I like hashtags and they also say that your mets are super, if you're gonna spend time calling one, start with your mets, because your mets are more likely to give you business than your haven't mets, because you haven't really established a relationship as strongly. So in your, on page 22, they talk about sources of haven't mets. We've already kind of covered our mets in the people in your phone and the people that you do business with. So talks about a geographic farm. I you know, you just heard me say that I'm big about having a farm and putting everybody into your neighborhood nurture. And then you heard me just mention the soccer team list, but sports teams mailing list are a great thing to put into your database. House of worship rosters. I have not done this, and I don't know why. I have a roster from my church, and I don't know why. That's the one I hesitate on, and I don't know why I can't just go ahead and put everybody in there. Clubs or organizations. Do you belong to a booster? Are you part of a yoga class? Anywhere you can get a roster from, kids rosters, I would put them in there. I do very little with LinkedIn, and that is one of the things that I'm tasking Elizabeth to help me with. Who does anybody do with LinkedIn? Are they getting business from LinkedIn?
Emma, are you on this call?
She was earlier.
Well, this is Joan Griffith. And
No, she had to go to the dentist today, so she's sleeping, I think.
well, no big deal. I just remember that we talked, I think it was 2 weeks ago, about, she said she would do a class on LinkedIn because I am on LinkedIn, but I really don't use it for that. But I would love to. And I'm thinking, Emma said she would do a class for us, maybe like the next time or something.
No, that's a good idea. Because you know what, Joan? I don't understand it either. It's not that I'm not on LinkedIn, but I don't know what to do with it.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
The only thing I do on LinkedIn is I accept everybody, and, you know, but I don't respond, engage, like it's very ineffective.
Well, and you have to really engage with everybody, you know, back and forth. That's how you get the referral. And I just don't want to, I mean, I know it's kind of restrictive, maybe not so much anymore. I mean, they used to bounce your butt off if you did the wrong stuff, you know, so I just wanted to make sure that I was doing it correctly. And Emma said she'd be happy to do that for us. And I'm thinking that would be great to get somebody that really knows what they're doing, you know?
Yeah. I think that would be good. But again, Teresa, I would say, let's do them as smaller classes. I would like to learn one thing, and I'd like it to be 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Whatever,
no,
about
I agree.
45 minutes is I can go to the bathroom or transit into my next appointment. So.
It's a good one for our productivity. And sometimes you just have to learn one thing. You're right. It needs to be one thing, and then we try it while we're doing it.
Right. I agree.
I'd like to add a comment about LinkedIn. The way I think, I've got a few responses back, but for instance, when I get on LinkedIn, I also accept people and reach out to people like all over Virginia and even out of state, Tennessee, wherever they may be, I'm looking for them. And when I have a larger property here, usually, I will put, you know, some advertising about that property, something we just listed, and say, hey, you have are you guys, you know, anyone ready to move to the Blue Ridge Mountains, to the Star City? Do you know any family, friends, or co-workers that are going to be relocating? And that reaches out to a lot of the big companies around here that say, oh, okay, you know, someone may see that, go, okay, there's a house that, you know, we could send out to someone. But that's my thing, is just reaching out to people, not only in this area, but in other areas. I had a lady reach out to me from Tennessee that's daughter is living in Florida, and the daughter's wanting to move here. And so she looked at one of my properties, my $535,000 property. And so I've been talking with her and her daughter, but she saw that on LinkedIn. So that's how it's helped me, as far as, you know, being able to reach out to people, not just the people in this area, but people in other states and other areas that may be relocating here, that wants to see what's out there, and or has family relocating.
So just so everybody knows that we are doing more of a regional Ignite. So this is Darla. She is in Roanoke, and she's
sorry.
No. She's on the Matt Hogan team. But what I like is that she's really admin, but she's actually interfacing with potential new clients. She's licensed. So to me, that's really cool. So how often would you say you change an ad in LinkedIn or you do something in LinkedIn? Are you doing that daily, weekly?
I'm doing it about twice a week because I don't overwhelm people with just sending them pictures of houses all the time. People are like, oh, they scroll down, they're just to sell a house. If I did something educational or, took a class or something I'll put in there like every other day, a comment, and then post a house. Hey, we've got this home coming up. It's going to be listed next week. You guys, be watching for it. Anyone ready to relocate? But yeah, usually about twice a week, but I'll still look at it and I'll like people that are having an anniversary and congratulate them, or if they just started a new job and they changed businesses. Oh, great. Well, you know what? Let's talk about growing each other's business. You're new to this. I made a connection with a gentleman here that just went into insurance, selling homeowners insurance. He started his new agency. So he reached out and said, hey, I just opened my new agency. I'm like, awesome. Well, you know what? How are we going to help each other? So he and I have been back and forth talking on LinkedIn. He says, that's just great. I know you know a lot of people. And I'm like, and you know a lot of people. So he's from Salem and we're just, but I don't, some people just get overwhelmed if you're constantly posting something you want to sell. I'll promote the Ronald McDonald House on there, the charity. I'll promote different things on there for a lot of the charitable organizations. And so people are looking at that are connected with those charities and they're seeing my name on that. And so that's, I think it's a good, a good thing. These are a lot of professionals, but again, I don't just reach out to people in this area, right here in this region, because there are people, business professionals, that are moving this direction. So,
I appreciate that. And I just wrote that down. That's going to be another thing that, now that we do have another admin, and, charity work, I think is, you are very involved in the Ronald McDonald House. And I think putting that there is really smart. And again, on Facebook and Twitter and the rest of it too, but also on LinkedIn, that would be really smart. So, yeah.
And a lot of my likes are the board members and the physicians with the Ronald McDonald, with the Carilion Hospital.
And I work with the board of the Patrick Henry Boys and Girls Home, and I serve on that board. My team has sold 6 houses last year to board members, their family. I actually did a lunch and learn through them. They are going to buy homes, and I want them to do that through me if they're going to buy homes. So I'm not doing Patrick Henry. I've done it for 2 decades, and never really sold houses for those members. But once I got started, then they had a great experience. They told other people. Again, it's just what you're doing in your normal course of daily life, but also, and I think this for me this year, I want to do more with businesses. I would like to get in front of more, I've sold 2 houses to 2 people that are running businesses. And I asked both of them, I'm like, can I get in front of your employees? And they were like, oh yeah, Tina, you can come out. And I'm like, great. Have I done it? No, but it is one of my goals this year to do, they're touching 20 people. So why not do a lunch and learn with that? So think about who that actually owns a business of 2 people, 5 people, 20 people. Don't be afraid to ask if you can do a lunch and learn. And a lot of times your lender will help you with some of that expense too. So anyways, how about Facebook, Twitter, bloggers? Cody Persinger I don't think he's on this call today, but he is part of the new market center getting ready to launch in the Stanton area. Great agent. And he spends no money, buys no leads from anybody. And he has doubled his business this year. He was at 10 million, I want to say, his second year in business. He said, I post everything. He's like, I post what I did Saturday morning. I post, he said things that you think, why would anybody be interested? Cody Persinger, Persinger, Facebook him, and be his friend and watch his posts. He is doing it at a very high level, and he is my inspiration. I want to be more like Cody.
Cody's a wonderful human being. I had the
He is
opportunity
a
to
wonderful human being.
be on his bold team, and he's a wonderful man. He really is.
He is. So I would tell you, if you really want to. So who else is out there? And the other thing he's saying is video. And we all know this. We need to all do more video. We can do them in our car. They don't have to be professional. You can be a new paint door color that you painted on your house, or your builder painted on their house, or just, you know what, this person had something funny in their yard. Like it, just post and comment on other people's posts, not just like, you got to comment. Oh, that's the sweetest little picture of your 2-year-old in front of the fireplace. Like, you got to say words, and you have to do it on a daily basis. Like, it should just be part of your prospecting. All right, I'm going to get on Facebook and I'm going to talk. But post and video. So who out there is nailing this? I was talking to somebody in Roanoke, and she said, Monday I do this inspirational, Tuesday I do something real estate, Thursday I do, like, she just had this social media plan. And she was doing it, you know.
That's a really good idea. The inspirational quotes and things like that. That's a really good idea.
She just had a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and she just kind of stuck to that, you know, like every Monday I'm going to do something inspirational, and every Tuesday I'm going to do something real estate, and every Wednesday I'm doing whatever her next thing was. So, yeah. So,
this is Joan. I just want to say something really quick, and then I'll stop talking. But
no, we want you to talk, Joan. Love it.
I have always felt this way because I've always been pretty involved in the chamber. But something I've really done more of in the last, I would say, 6 months is I visit businesses and that I'm buying from, and then I do a video for them. And then and Michelle did something awesome recently. If you haven't seen it, you've got to see it. It's on her, it's on her Facebook page. But she went to a little, I guess you call it, I don't even know what it's called, a food booth or a food.
It's a food truck.
And her and a mortgage person that she works with did a little video at the food truck. And they were talking about mortgage and the lunch and the food. And she's basically was promoting this cool little food truck and promoting herself and the mortgage person she was with. And it was probably the best one I've ever seen, because it wasn't really, you know, it wasn't the glamour thing, which it was really cute and it was glamorous, but it was very off the cuff, just kind of talking like you'd talk at lunch with somebody. And that's the kind that I try and do. And I think that is probably the best, actually. But I mean, I think we are helping another business, we're helping ourselves. And, you know, we're getting a lot of people in the COVID situation to get out to restaurants that don't know about some of these restaurants. So I would really try and do that more and more and more, because I have gotten lots of referrals off those kind of videos. And Michelle's rocks, so you got to go see it. It's awesome.
Michelle's, all right.
Joan, I love you. And you know what I like about Joan, or love, she shared it. So some people probably wouldn't share other realtors because, you know, they're trying to sell business themselves. Joan shared it. She commented on it. Some of her people commented and asked it, like, what time it's open. And like Joan said, it's all about these small businesses right now. Plus you can throw in there, hey, what the market's doing, or, you know, come eat here. And then I had my lender. So we just doing a couple things that we know is going on in the market. It was like a minute long, which, as you know, us as humans cannot concentrate more than a few minutes watching something. I'll do the same. I'll do it. If it's a long video, I just keep going. But Joan does it. She's a very big cottage gate person. If she goes to the llama farm, and what you're doing, Tina, you brought up some points earlier, and I sit here and listen because I like to let everybody else talk first. But that's your engagement. And buyers and sellers are going to usually find you because they know that you have that commonality. That's my big word for the day. So I do
Right.
use big words. I just don't do it often, but they're finding something. It's just like when I take clients around the lake. It's always me and the husband fish or we golf. We have something in common, and that's going to keep them coming back to you. So you have to find that when you talk to the have met and have not. What do you have in common to get them to say, I'm going to use you, and not my sister's brother's dog groomer's boyfriend that sells real estate. But thank you, Joan. My whole point was Joan is a team player, and she shared it, and it was a cute video. It was done well, and I got a lot of comments and likes and a few hopefully leads off of it.
I just went and looked at it, Michelle, and it's really cute.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I just went and watched it. And Catherine's great.
And it's hard, you know, we don't like calling people, much less getting in front of video. Some people love to take a picture because they're all made up. Video's harder because you're stumbling, thinking about what to say. But what I've learned just in Bold and a few other classes, it's better than doing nothing. So do a few short ones. You're going to get better. You're going to get braver. And, you know, at KW, our whole thing is to think about each other. So if you see it, you know, you see someone else's, share it. It's all about helping each other as much as helping yourself.
Nice. I love it. I'm going to go watch it after I get off of this call.
It's
Please
one of
do.
the best. It's one of the best. And webinars tell you these days not to do the glamour shot video, to really do your normal person video, you know?
Thank you,
Oh my
Jen.
gosh. And if you ever get a pet, you just put everything on about the
Yes.
pet.
Yep.
About when you bought the pet, like the pet, I don't care if it's a fish or if it's a cat or a dog, that is like a gold mine if you ever get a pet or your child gets a pet. So don't, and I will tell you this, I have pet cards, pet sympathy cards, and I send them out when I hear of it. And that goes in the notes. If somebody tells me, you know, of course I put the children in their names and that, but I put the pets because a lot of times the pets are really important to folks. And if I call 6 months later and can say, you know, something about their dog, Theo, how's Theo doing? How's that hip surgery going? You know, it's again, that commonality and that connector point. So.
Well, Tina, you're right on that.
Oh,
You
baby.
know, we don't have kids, so
Right.
our pets are our kids, and there's a lot of people out there like that.
Right. And you know what made me really get is my daughter. That dog means the world to her. So I, you know,
Yeah.
like now I'm like, yeah, I get it. All right. Yeah. So the other thing too, when we have them on the phone or when we've met somebody, I don't do this, but why not? The average person stays in their home about 10 years. Ask them how long they've been in their home. Like that's important because our seasons change. And, you know, I have so often where people are like, oh, but this is where my children were raised. And, you know, I'm not sure. I'm like, you know, seasons change and that was that season. And that was a great season. You know, now we need the home that fits this season. So helping them through that. Yeah. So we are going to move on to classifying, number 25. Are you using your hashtags?
Yes.
Yay. Everybody, man, if you aren't using them, go back as you touch that person, put in the tags, met, haven't met. I have one called millionaire. I mark everybody that's a millionaire. I mark whether I've done a CMA because I want to remind myself it's spring. Who have I done a CMA on? You know, listings are king. I don't have enough listings. Who have I ever done a CMA? Maybe it was 5 years ago. I want to know, you know, so I always hashtag them. If I've met them and done a CMA, I put that on there. Again, daughter's soccer. You know, this is the pet training person I did, you know, make some hashtags. I do the open houses and I'll put, you know, hashtags on certain subdivisions so that I can, if I ever have another house in that subdivision, I can reach back out to them. A lot of times, again, I'm not reaching back out to them because I think they're going to buy it. They might know somebody, and it's just another reason to be on the phone with them. Oh, by the way, is there anybody else in your neighborhood that might be selling? I don't know. If you just diligent to it and make those 20 calls every day, I don't always get through 20, I'll be honest. Sometimes I get long-winded, and I know Bold's like, just hang up and call the next and call the next. And you know, you get to be your own business person, and I'm not going to do that. But, you know, do I do 9 to 11? I really do. And sometimes I do 9 till noon if I've, you know, skipped a day or something. So
If I can only get 10 in and they're good conversations, I'd rather do that.
yeah, I agree. It's okay. Let's keep going. Campaigns, page 28. So campaigns for me are like birthday anniversary campaigns. And one of my goals this year is I have a helium thing in my my storage closet, and I never use it. So I am ordering Hire Tina Fryer balloons, and I'm going to make a video, and I'm going to call you on your birthday, and I'm going to have a birthday balloon tied to my chair right here. And I'm going to make Rachel and Elizabeth sing happy birthday to you, maybe only one verse. And then I'm just going to talk to you and see how you're doing. If you don't pick up, I'm going to make a video and send it to you. And I am going to do this, guys. I am going to do it. And I may only do it on Monday, and then I may schedule those to go out. But I am going to recognize you on your birthday, and I'm going to say your name. So I'm going to say happy birthday to Elizabeth. You know, I'm going to use your name. And I just think it's a great touch. I'm not going to do it with strangers. They're going to be all people that I've either sold a house to or have met. But that's what I want to do. That's me.
That's a wonderful idea. I like that idea.
How many people that those clients are going to tell, do you know my realtor sent me this specific video? I mean, how many sales and listings you could get out of that's an amazing idea.
Yeah, I want the balloon too. I want it to look like I'm celebrating them. So, and I don't know if y'all do it, and I don't even know how to do it. Rachel does it for me, but she can schedule the things. And I'm like, that's perfect, because I'm a one and done. Like if I could do all my birthdays on Monday, that would be great, you know? So the 8x8s or the 33 touches. Any of you guys using the 8x8s or the 33 touches? The touch campaigns? Nobody? Me neither.
I actually use them, but I'm still doing them on.
Inspire me then, Krista. I need some inspiration.
I'm still using them on Market Leader. I cannot figure out so much about command. And it seems like I spend more time just trying to figure it out than just getting the other campaigns going. So I'm still using Market Leader for that.
So the 33 and the 8x8, I feel like this information is old. It's really smart plans now, right?
Yeah. And
Yes, exactly. And the smart plans I have used on a few people to try them, but I'm just not as comfortable yet.
Yeah, I would suggest that you come to this class or that February class. Like we all are underutilizing it, and I'm underutilizing it. So I'll be part of the class.
And if you want something right now, Scott Leroy on YouTube has tons of smart plan videos.
Yes.
Scott Leroy. Yeah.
I've been learning from him as well when I've tried to start something new.
Schedule a time with Shalaya too. Yeah.
Thank you, Shalaya.
Yeah. Honestly, with the people that do, just really are aglow about it. So, all right. So that was kind of what I had. Yeah. And I would love to hear your ahas, but more importantly, like, what are you really going to take away from this and actually do? And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to actually do. I am going to actually call my insurance guy. I am going to go to the Smart Plans class, and I am going to make Elizabeth and I do that. I am going to do LinkedIn at a higher level, and I'm going to watch Michelle Vandergrift's video. So some of you guys share some of your ahas and what you're really willing to commit in front of this group, because I'm going to write it down and I'm going to come back to you and see if you did.
We want to start the $1 million hashtag.
Ooh, it's a fun one.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely,
go ahead.
sorry. I'm definitely going to add my neighborhoods and do the smart plane class and also watch that YouTube to kind of see if I can fix some of it out before the class. Also work more on those Facebook ads. And like she had said, reach out to some of those insurance folks, CPA, and some small business owners, because that's a great idea to go in there and do a little video for them, help promote their business, because they're going to share it all over their Facebook and they're going to share it with their friends. And so, yeah, that's a really good idea.
I'm definitely going to do the hashtags. I have not done that. I do them when I do a Facebook page, for instance, you know, but not in my database. And so I want to do that. I think that's going to help tremendously. I feel like when I first got into real estate 4 years ago that I subdivided too much. Instead of Mets and not Mets and all of this, I put in, you know, realtors, vendors, buyers, sellers, you know, and just went on. And now I'm finding it hard to get them into categories. So I got to rework all that.
Yeah, you might want to just set a little time aside in the winter, especially, and work on some of that. I actually do filter by them, and sometimes, like when I was looking for listings, I'm like, filter by CMA. Who have I ever talked to? Like, so I use, you know, Farmington. I'm like, filter by Farmington so that I can, you know, let people know about something that's new or a new listing. So once you,
and you're still doing that on command?
I don't know if they all transferred over from when we came out of Market Leader. We're only on command, so that's all we're doing. So, yeah.
Can I ask a question about the hashtags?
Sure.
Where do they go in? Like you put them in your contact information?
Correct.
Okay.
And Shalaya, so when it's under groups and then it'll say create a new one. So they have buyer, seller, and some of the normal.
So the hashtag is the group.
Groups.
Okay.
And then when you want to filter by them, there's something that says filter, and then you can, you know, filter by whatever. All right. Any other ahas or things that you're willing to commit to the group that you're going to incorporate in your 2021?
I'm definitely going to talk to more people about real estate. Everywhere I go, like I started going to the gym at Westlake, and I'm taking like 5 different classes. I've been doing this for months, and I've never mentioned to anybody that I'm in real estate. I don't know what it is. I just feel like I don't want to be that guy, but I have to be that guy.
Yeah.
But don't think of it that way. Do not think of it that way.
I know. I'm trying to change my entire mindset.
You're that wonderful guardian angel.
Yeah. I have little Post-its everywhere in my life. I am service oriented. I am service oriented. I am service. It's everywhere in my life to remind myself that I'm providing a service.
You're not a car salesman. Salesman.
Right.
Just
Yeah,
keep
people
thinking you're
love
the
to talk
guardian
about real estate. They love to talk about it. Go get you a tumbler that just says hashtag realtor on it, you know?
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Actually, just carry it around with you with your coffee, you know?
Right.
You know, once you do it a little bit, it just, you know, you won't even really, you'll get over it really fast, because you just realize that they're going to use somebody, and it's going to make you mad when you find out they used somebody, they didn't have anybody, or they used somebody that was horrible, and you would have done so much of a better job. You know, you just, and you're just going to feel like crap. So yeah. There's nothing more than I hate when I call it a lead that I should have called sooner, and they tell me they've already done something. I'm like, damn it, you know? So
Hey, Jennifer, if you don't want to just, feel like you're bragging, because it is a fine line, I get it. But you have to remember, whatever you did before, that's who they think Jennifer is. So you want them to know you now as Jennifer the Realtor.
That's
So
right.
if you go out and show a house or show a house for somebody, and I do this, I'll take a picture of the lake behind me or just of the lake, and I'll post, show them beautiful properties today. And the more and more they see that, they think you're out there busting tail, and they're going to use you, and they're going to go, she knows a lake. Or if it's Roanoke or Bedford, wherever you love, I just use a lake because I'm sitting here looking at the lake now. But so that's top of mind. And just, once a week, or if you show on Saturday and you show the next Saturday, you're just staying on top of mind without going, I'm Jennifer, I'm a real estate agent. I'm Jennifer, I'm a real estate agent.
Right.
Take pictures of the dock. Like, that's what I love, is the lake and the dock, and 2 or 3 pictures from a couple houses you show, or I'm doing a great open house today. That's going to be enough to put that message in there, so you don't feel like I'm just, talking and boring people to death, like you said. So try some things like that, maybe.
Good idea. Thank you.
You got it.
All righty. One last little nugget that I'm going to share with everybody on this call, and look for it by email. So my mom and dad are 85 and 90 years old. And my mom was almost in tears the other day because she couldn't figure out how to sign up for her shot. And she's so tired of staying at home, and she wants her shot so she can re-enter the world. And so Rachel did this nice email for me, and I signed my mom and me up for the COVID shot. But people just don't know what's going on, and they don't have good information. And wouldn't it be awesome if we could, again, I am using COVID in almost all my calls. I'm just like, how are you doing? How's your energy? How's it going? Because people are weary out there. So I'm going to share her email, because she curated this wonderful thing that is a link on where you can go to sign up for the shot. And then there's another link that says we're in 1A and we haven't transitioned to 1B, but you can look up any county to find out, oh, Roanoke's already moved to 1B, so once you know what group you're in, you can start tracking it. And so I'm just going to send it out to you guys, because I think it would be a great way to send out to your database something of value, because if it's value, and I think you should add, or at least somehow put it in so they know you're a realtor, and what you'll just say is, I thought this information was great. I have signed up for my vaccine. Or if you're not, that's okay too. It's still something of value. Post it, share it, do whatever you want with it, throw it away, delete it. But I am going to send it out because other people have said, yes, please send it to me. So yeah. Okay. I think that's it, unless you guys had any further questions or ahas.
Thank you, Tina.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you so much, Tina. We
Great
appreciate
class.
it.
for doing it. All right.
I really appreciate you sending the email out too.
Sure, absolutely. Okie doke.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hey, guys.